Asus TUF FX504. The Asus TUF FX504 is an affordable laptop of indeed stellar quality, as it comes with strong hardware and a sleek design that'll take your breath away from the moment you open the box. The FX504 sports an aggressive matte black chassis with sharp edges, dual rear jet engine vents positioned on the bottom, reflective rear accents that are present on the deck, and on the lid the Asus logo situated in the center. On the left flank of the chassis you can find an Ethernet jack, an HDMI output, a pair of USB 3.0 ports, a single USB 2.0 port, and a headphone jack, while on the right you'll find a Kensington lock, which is a really neat addition. When you open the lid, on the bottom there's a touchpad which shares the color scheme of the laptop, and it accepts 4 finger swipes, making it easy to use for casual and gaming use. Slightly above there's a red backlit keyboard that has a travel distance of 1.8mm, meaning that your strokes are going to be registered properly. And let's not forget that the keyboard has great durability, withstanding up to 20 million keystrokes. Let's talk about performance. This particular model is armed with an 8300H processor, a GTX 1050 graphics card, 8GB of RAM, which is expandable up to 32GB, and a FireCuda SSD of 1TB. With these specs, it's guaranteed to give you fluid gameplay with a stable FPS rate. Moving on, the 15.6-inch TN display has an aspect ratio of 16:9, a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, and outputs a decent picture quality. As for battery life, this gives you about 4 hours, which of course will change depending on your usage. Overall, if you're looking for an affordable laptop that is ideal for MMO gaming, then this is the one for you. Coming in at number 4, it's the Acer Aspire VX15. The Acer Aspire VX15 is a unique 15.6-inch laptop that'll be a really good option for you if you're keen on investing in an affordable laptop that looks and performs like a premium one. Let's have a look at what it has to offer. Aesthetically speaking, the VX15 has an angular, hard-edged, black-coloured plastic construction that is highlighted by red accents, which can be found on the lid, on the rear part of the deck, and on the WASD buttons, as well as the borders around the touchpad. Connection ports include 2 USB 3.0 ports, a single USB 3.1 Type-C port, a single USB 2.0 port, an HDMI port, a 3.5mm combo jack, an Ethernet port, and a Kensington lock. The keyboard has a red backlight for great gaming ambiance, and the keys are soft to the touch, making gameplay comfortable. Slightly below there's a red bordered click pad that is spacious and responsive enough to accurately capture each glide you make. However, keep in mind that laptops' touchpads aren't that useful for gaming, so I advise you take advantage of an external mouse. Anyway, let's have a look at the performance. The VX15 incorporates a GeForce GTX 1050 Ti graphics card, an i7 processor, 16GB of RAM, and 256GB SSD, which will ensure quick booting times along with lag-free gaming. In addition, this unit houses a 15.6-inch Full HD IPS display that outputs vivid visuals that are filled with lifelike colours to drastically enhance your gameplay. And last but not least, the battery life is rated at 6 hours of use, although of course this will change depending on usage. To conclude, the VX15 is a must-have option because it offers great performance at a great price. At number 3 today, it's the Dell G3. The Dell G3 has received dozens of positive critiques from users in the market, mainly because of its durable construction and its great hardware, making this unit suitable for both gaming and professional purposes. From a design perspective, this model boasts an attractive and thin matte black chassis that holds a 15.6-inch screen, a carbon deck that holds an ergonomic backlit keyboard with blue labels, and a blue bordered touchpad, making this a handsome-looking Dell keyboard. In addition, on the left of the chassis there's a power jack, an RJ45 port, 2 USB 3.1 ports, an HDMI 2.0 port, and a headphone microphone jack combo, while on the right you will also find a single USB 2.0 port, a Noble lock slot, and a 2-in-1 card reader, making sure you've got just about everything you need. Let's talk about performance. The G3 is powered by an Intel i5 8300H processor, has 8GB of RAM, a GTX 1050 graphics card, and a 256GB solid-state drive. If we take a closer look, these specs are more than good for running most of the games on medium to high settings with a stable FPS rate. The keyboard is nicely engineered and the screen has full HD resolution as well as being wrapped in an anti-glare coating, making this great for gaming without distractions. Battery life is said to last between 1.5 to 2 hours of gaming or around 6 to 7 hours of ordinary use, making the Dell G3 worth considering. Coming in at number 2, it's the Dell Inspiron i5-7567. The Dell Inspiron i5-7567 is one of the best gaming laptops you can find in the market, especially if you're looking for high-end performance without spending thousands of dollars. In terms of the design, the Inspiron i5-7567 features a matte black case that consists of rounded, sharp edges, rubberized surface textures, an innovative flexible hinge that'll let you adjust the screen according to your preference, and a huge red pattern is present on the front part of the chassis. When it comes to the connection ports, this particular model employs a single USB 2.0 port, 3 USB 3.0 ports, an HDMI out, Ethernet port, an audio combo, a Kensington lock, and an SD card reader, so you'll never feel restricted in terms of expandability. Once you open the lid, you'll instantly notice the spacious touchpad, which has a toughened plastic surface, making it incredibly smooth and responsive, so each glide you make will be instantly recognised. Slightly above that, there is the backlit, splash-proof keyboard, which feels soft when gaming or typing, and on the top you've got your 15.6-inch screen that will drastically enhance your gaming experience. Let's talk about performance. The Inspiron i5-7567 is equipped with an i5-7300HQ processor, a GTX 1050 Ti graphics card, 8GB of RAM, and a 256GB SSD. The IPS screen has full HD resolution, it's LED backlit, and is covered in an anti-glare coating, which means you'll be able to game without distraction. And finally, the battery life lasts for about 2 hours of gaming or 8 hours of casual use. So if you're looking for something that performs well and doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, look at the Inspiron i5-7567. And at the top of the list today, it's the Acer Nitro 5. The Acer Nitro 5 is currently the best budget level laptop that you can find in the market, and the reason is pretty simple. It looks and performs just like the high-end gaming laptops. The Nitro 5 has a black and red appearance that is pleasing to the eye whether you're looking at the lid, the deck or the screen. The lid has a matte black brush surface which when opened reveals the spacious touchpad with a red border and a red backlit keyboard. Both of these look beautiful and perform even better, so we think that Acer deserves a round of applause. The connection ports are robust and they're composed of 2 USB 2.0 ports, a headphone jack, a single USB 3.0 port, an HDMI port, a USB Type-C 3.1 port, an Ethernet port, and an SD card reader, which if you ask me, is pretty awesome. Let's talk about performance. The Nitro 5 comes with 8 gigs of RAM, a 256GB SSD, a GTX 1050 Ti graphics card with 4GB of dedicated RAM, and an i5-7300HQ processor that'll offer you quick and effective processing, while the graphics card is capable of offering stable frame rates with most games from medium to high settings. Moving on, the 15.6-inch display is IPS, which means that the colours will remain accurate even when viewed from wide angles, and other users have reported that they're rarely impressed with the visuals. Finally, the battery has an average life of up to 8.5 hours, however this will vary, especially if you're gaming. To conclude, I strongly recommend you consider the Acer Nitro 5, and if you ever decide to purchase it, you'll know exactly what makes it so special.